You want to go ahead and tell me your name?
Najah Tibi.
Okay. And what is your organization that you're working with?
It's myself and my dad. We don't have an organization yet. We have one set up. We are working with Helping Hands, and they're the ones that are paying for the container from here to Turkey.
And how did you come to work with Helping Hands?
I started putting the clothing drive together, and I wasn't expecting this much of a response, and we were getting a lot of people donating, and one of the local activists in Houston, Omar Shashekli, called me, and he was like, hey, get in contact with these people, they're willing to pay for it. And then the head of Helping Hands for Houston contacted me, and he told me he was willing to pay for, their organization was willing to pay for from here to Turkey, and then when it got to Turkey, it would fall on me and my dad, so that's how we got it.
Is this your first container that you've put together?
No, this is a second container. This is a 40-foot. Right now we have more than a 40-foot, so we're going to have 3 containers going out. I'm super excited.
So you're going to have a third container after this, is that correct?
Yes, a third one.
So how big will that container be?
At least a 20-foot. We might extend it, maybe, for a 40-foot, and then I know someone was asking me if we were going to do another one, and I'm not entirely sure yet.
Okay. How have people responded so far to the pledge drive that you have?
Honestly, they've been responding pretty well. The biggest response I was getting was from Facebook. Surprisingly, I don't use Facebook that often, but once I put the page on Facebook, I was getting a lot of people, and it was people I don't even know. It's been a really good response, actually.
Would you say that it's just the Syrian community in Houston, or would you say Texans as a whole are responding?
Texans as a whole. Honestly, I am really sad to say that not all the Syrians that I personally know have contributed to this. I've had more people just from around Houston, friends of friends, and it's not just Arabs, it's not just Muslims. I've had my government professor and some of my professors at HCC help, and they're white American. Had neighbors help, and they're not, Syrian or Arab or anything. So it's been Houston as a whole, and then people around Texas as a whole.
So the response really has crossed cultures, has crossed religions, and has crossed races and everything else.
Yes, it really has, honestly. I think probably because it's something that everyone can contribute to. I know Houston and the United States do clothing drives all the time for different disasters and reliefs and stuff, and so this is something people are used to over here, so I think that helps.
Now, a lot of people are going to want to know what this is going to be used for, what you're filling the container with. What are you actually collecting besides clothing?
Okay, we're taking blankets. Someone had the genius idea of sending sleeping bags, which is great because, they can get inside it, and it has padding and all that, which is awesome. We were sending packs of socks, packs of underwear, undershirts, shoes, because they don't have shoes. They're in sandals and flip-flops, and it's extremely muddy and wet and cold. Sheets, pretty much anything that, they could use to keep warm and to kind of shelter themselves. And we've been collecting toys, because there are a lot of kids in the camps, and I think a lot of people kind of forget that kids still need to grow up and be kids, so.
Now, where are you going to be sending the containers? There's refugees in Turkey, in Iraq, in Jordan, and in Lebanon. Where will you be sending these containers? The
container will port in Turkey, and we have a storage unit in Turkey, and then once it gets into Turkey, we have people that are going to distribute it into the camps that are inside the border of Syria, because in comparison to the other camps, the camps that are in Syria are not doing that well. They're relatively new in comparison to the camps that are in Turkey and in Jordan, so that's where we're going to be sending it.
Now, you mentioned you have a third container on the way. Will that be the end of your pledge drive, or do you expect that you might move beyond that?
I plan on doing more. I don't know if I'm going to do another container. I am working on putting together some type of fundraiser so we can collect funds to send directly over there so they can buy food, because that's something they're in need of right now as well. And I don't know if I mentioned this or not. My dad and I set up a nonprofit organization, and I plan on continuing, not just for Syria, but just pretty much anywhere. So I want to keep going with this, hopefully.
How can people donate?
They can bring it in over here. This is the Helping Hand Center, or at our restaurant. Or we had people mailing things from out of state. I had a family who drove in from Louisiana twice with a U-Haul full of stuff. Like, they collected within their community and they brought it over, which was great. I know there's other centers, Helping Hand centers, that are in the United States, throughout the United States, and they're really dedicated to the Syrian cause, and they know that we have people in Turkey on ground to take care of it, so they've been willing to send containers. Like in Chicago, I think they have 2 that they're going to send.
So they could find a local Helping Hands, donate there, and specify that it go for the Syrian cause. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what about people throughout the United States that may not have a Helping Hands in their region, and they're not close to Texas and Houston? How would they go about donating?
If they wanted to donate physical things like clothing and stuff, they could always mail it to the nearest, whatever state, city is nearest to them that actually is collecting stuff.
So a local Helping Hands that's within close to where they live?
Yes, exactly. I know there are other organizations that are doing clothing and blanket drives. I don't know the people who are running them personally, so I don't know any names to throw out there, but I'm doing this, and I know Helping Hands is working with us to do it. So.
And did you, pardon me, and did you have anything else that you wanted to say or mention?
The thing I was trying to stress the most was, this is not, you don't have to be Syrian or Muslim or Arab to help with this. It's not a Syrian cause, it's a humanitarian crisis, and these are people, these are men. I'm going to cry. Men, I've been crying, I've been really emotional. These are men, women, and children, like you and I, everyone we know, they're just people that are, they don't have homes anymore, they don't have anywhere to go to. So even if Bashar al-Assad is gone tomorrow, most of these people are going to still continue to live in these camps because their homes are destroyed. So they still need our help, and this is something that you don't have to be super rich to just go through one jacket. Even if you donate one jacket, that's one jacket that they didn't have. So this is the biggest thing I'm trying to stress, that anyone can help with this, and I'm trying to keep it an ongoing thing because the number of refugees it's just going up every day insanely, and they're still going to need this whether or not Syria is liberated.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.